Am I the asshole for telling my mom she could hold her grandchild at my funeral? So, I, 28F, cannot have kids without death or serious injury and passionately do not want them. Nor does my husband. And no, before anyone assumes we're kid-hating monsters, we don't dislike kids. We have a combined total of 8 nieces and nephews. All of whom we love dearly. They just can't live in our house. My mother, bless her heart, is currently infected with baby rabies. Her friends keep getting grandkids and the best I'm willing to do is dogs. Yesterday, I was talking on the phone with my mom and she, casually, brings up how nice it would be to have a baby around. Now, I have a policy for people trying to pry about my reproductive affairs. And that policy is to make them as unfreaking comfortable as I can so they never ask again. My mom has never been on the receiving end but she has seen me do it. The first time I'm like, nah, too much work and they don't even get cute for like 3 years. Puppies are born cute and stay cute. But she kept pressing saying things like, dogs won't love you like kids do. And here's where I may be I snapped and said, well, if you want a baby that bad I can make sure to put it in my will that you can hold it through my funeral. My mom just made a noise like a mouse being stepped on and hung up on me. She now is refusing to answer any of my text messages about anything. I might have overreacted, just a little. And she is my mom. So, am I the asshole? Edit. Yes, my mom knows about the health conditions. I was born with them and they've worsened over time. Edit 2. I'm very transparent about not being able to have, not wanting kids. But I do love the kids in my life. Edit. So, couple things here. 1. Thank you all so much for the awards and the kind feedback, I appreciate it. I did not expect this to blow up like it did. 2. My mom did message me back and apologized. She'd also like us to come around 12 p to tidy up the yard and she's going to pay us with lunch and beer. Not the asshole. You tried handling this with tact. Your mother pursued the topic and you told her exactly what would happen should you decide to ever have children. You would die. I don't see what she has to complain about when there are 8 other children running around. Why does she need a baby from you? I am on the same boat as you so I am going with a firm not the asshole. What is it with people not respecting someone's choice on not having kids? Just because we are made to reproduce does not mean we should have to. The thing I hate most about people who don't accept the no are those who say, oh you are young wait for your biological clock to kick, as if saying okay Barb whatever you say. I'm going with not the asshole on this. Yes, it was over the top, but I salute your willingness to commit to something like that. She's your mom and she's seen you deal with this in the past, so I don't get why she would think it would go any other way. And why she'd twist the knife into you for something that more than likely hurt like hell when you learned it. Not the asshole and I appreciate your tactics. Beautiful. Your mum was way out of line. I hate that you have to quantify you're not a kid-hating monster just because you don't want your own. A choice is a choice. Good for you. Hope your mum apologizes. Not the asshole. Assuming your mom knows about your medical condition, her pressuring you to risk your own life for the sake of her getting a grandchild is monstrous. Does she really care that little about whether or not you live or die? Erg. I feel your pain. I nearly died giving birth to my baby and was told not to have any more as it's very likely I won't make it and my mill keeps asking, when's the next one? It's a shame to leave, beep, without a sibling. It's so freaking rude and it's no one's business but yours if you want kids. What if you did want kids and we're heartbroken over not being able to? It's cruel for anyone to mention kids to a couple when they don't know people's personal health and even worse because you mum does and if she somehow managed to change your mind about kids you could fight because of it. You're not the asshole. Not the asshole. With everything you've said here about your mother your comment makes sense. Your mother is willing to risk your death in order to get a biological grandchild. I'm surprised you are still talking to her. Not the asshole. Baby's rabies had me laughing my ass off. And you're right, she most likely won't bring up babies again. Hopefully she finally understands she's being a asshole by not dropping this subject. Good luck. Laughing my ass off. Not the asshole. She needs to stop prying into your choices. I have a policy for people trying to pry about my reproductive affairs. And that policy is to make them as unfreaking comfortable as I can so they never ask again. I stopped reading. Not the asshole lol. Not the asshole. You had already told her multiple times you weren't going to have kids and she still kept trying to persuade you to have one. You got tired of it and snapped. It's hard to be nice when you already told the person multiple times something and they keep insisting on it. Not the asshole, she kept pressuring you. Not the asshole, you have every right to not want kids whether you have health issues or not. That's your business. If that's what you had to say to get her to stop, then so be it. Not the asshole. I'm lost on the fact that your mother has zero concern that you could either die or come to serious harm by being pregnant. Like, what? A life that hasn't even begun to exist in the world is apparently more important to her than the woman who's been her child for 28 fricking years. I have one daughter who will never have kids. I will never be a grandmother, and I would love to be. But, making someone else happy is never a good reason to have a baby, except in a surrogate type of situation. Not the asshole at all. I'm so sick of people acting like women have to have children and give birth. My parents do the same thing to me. I'm not as risk that I'm aware of, but I do not want children or want to give birth, and I'm very adamant about that. Every time they bring it up or go, well, things happen, I say, and then I'll fix the problem, and my mom yells at me. Don't like my answer, stop saying it. Not the asshole whether your mom knows about the condition or not. It is no one's business but you and your partner whether or not you choose to have children. You do not owe anyone children. You have made your policy on children clear to your mother. She kept pressing, you responded in a way that will hopefully make her stop asking. You can probably get better support and advice in our child-free. Your mom was out of line and you did what you had to shut her down. She'll call you when her hands free up from all the pearl clutching. In the meantime, enjoy the silence. Not the asshole. Not the asshole and fur grandkids are totally valid. My mom calls my cat her grandcat. Not the asshole for sure. It's your life and it's your decision whether you want kids or not. Moreover, she kept pressing you. NTA. To be honest, I was your mother. I have a lot of kids and my dream is to have a ton of grandchildren. I would tease them about giving me more. Until my son's wife had a miscarriage. She felt so bad that couldn't give me another. I was shocked and so embarrassed that my joking around was causing these feelings. I was a dick. I never mentioned grandchildren again and have started shutting family members down when they bring it up since. I hope your mom is just having the same feelings of shame and is too embarrassed to answer your texts. I'm tempted to go with ESH, but let's be honest here, she deserves it. Forgive me for mobile formatting. Firstly, she is fully aware of your medical condition. Assuming she wants biological grandchildren, that's just fucking sick. Wishing that your daughter becomes horribly injured and possibly dies just to be a biological grandmother? Yeah, not happening. Secondly, she's seen you do it. She's fully aware that you're not interested in having children. Even if you could have biological children without medical consequences, you simply not wanting to is a perfectly fine reason not to. You don't want kids? Don't have them. You could have started off strongly, yet you tried to lay it nicely for her. She pushed, you pushed back. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Even without any medical issues that make it extremely dangerous for you to have kids, it's your body. Infected with baby rabies. This legitimately made me lol. I am stealing it. What the hell? And #X200B. Still waiting for someone to explain to my why parents want their kids to reproduce so badly. She was aware of that. She knew she can't hold her grandkid without you at the hospital or dying. She still choose to make those comments. Not the asshole for facing her with common knowledge. Rolling on the floor laughing, not the asshole. Boundaries. I went through a phase where I accepted that I just might turn out to be the drunk single auntie that always travels and told my mom I wasn't going to have any kids and she flipped out on me. I was puzzled and didn't see it coming. Fast forward 4 years and I'm finally pregnant and she's telling strangers. She just wants the grandkids lol. It's normal for our parents to do that shit, but we can establish boundaries. Not the asshole, not the asshole, but I love your policy. Not the asshole. People who do not want children, for any reason, should not have children. Your mom needs to find something else to make her happy. IDK what your mom is on, but dogs will absolutely love you as much as children do. Kids can grow up to resent you, but dogs will love you to the very end. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your mother knows that having a baby could literally kill you and she is still asking? That's wild. It's none of her business whether or not you have kids. She has no say. And deciding on the riskiness of it isn't up to her either. My mom's doctor forbid her from having another kid after me, firstborn, because he was sure she'd die, but she decided to risk it. But that was her choice, and even though she spent months in the hospital when pregnant with my sister, it turned out fine. But that was her choice, and would be a choice you'd have to make on your own if you did want kids. Which you don't, so she really needs to shut up about it. Not the asshole. Hasn't she watched Steel Magnolias? NTA, your mom know beforehand and choose to proceed at her own risk. Dogs won't love you like kids do. Nope, dogs will love you more. Not the asshole. What you said definitely surprised her and she probably thinks you went too far, but she went too far first. Sometimes that's the best way for people to learn. I especially think mom's the asshole because I imagine she knows pregnancy is not safe for you. That would really hurt if people were pressuring me to do something that would more than likely end me, especially a parent, and she's seen you in action when others get in your business. Truly can't stand when people overstep and ignore boundaries and act surprised by pushback or someone defending themselves. Not the asshole. I think it's secondary whether she already has grandchildren from your half-siblings. The bottom line is having a child could harm, kill you. Even if she had to go completely grandchildless for that, it's awful that she's putting any sort of guilt on you to take that risk. Not the asshole. She knows you can't give birth, right? And even if she doesn't know, it's none of her business. Info. Is your mother fully aware of the medical condition that makes you unable to bear children without being injured or dying? Not that you would not be well within your rights to refuse to have a child if you did not have a medical condition. I am asking because of what you specifically told her, which might have been blunt depending on how aware she was of that fact. NTA. You told your mother the hard truth of your situation. It's on her if she accepts it or not. I can't imagine being told that your life doesn't matter unless you have kids. Because that's what she told you. You are golden. An excellent comeback. Not the asshole. You tried. You really tried. That's not true. Dogs love you more than other humans do. Not the asshole. Look, I too can't have kids without risking my health or the child's health. I'm a chronic illness patient. The meds would cause fetal malformations. Going off the meds would be a risk for me. You know what my mom does? Accepts this, keeps people from asking intrusive questions, and tried to help me find a doctor willing to perform a tube ligation. Why? Because she knows that, no matter how much she would love grandkids, I can't give her those. Your mom is being selfish and disrespectful. Consider joining Childfree if you haven't already. Not the asshole. She knows you can't handle a pregnancy and yet she keeps insisting. She deserved it, and honestly every time she bothers you about it, bring the fact that you could die every single time. She'll get the message real quick. Not the asshole. She made a mouse noise and hung up? Is your mother 7 years old, because she needs to grow the F up? Not the asshole. It would be nice to have grandkids, so what you're saying is it's okay if I die for you to have said grandkids? Would you be happier if I risked it and then died? But you'd have your grandkids to comfort you, right? Next time tell her she can go have her own baby if she wants one around so badly. I snapped and said, well, if you want a baby that bad I can make sure to put it in my will that you can hold it through my funeral. Well, those are pretty much the stakes. Maybe she'll hear you now. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's selfish as hell if she's looking at herself as the victim here. You have my compassion for not being able to have children. What she did was unacceptable and she would have continued to pester and hurt you if you hadn't drawn a clear line. Do not apologize. Do enjoy the dogs. Not the asshole. Your mom sounds like a bad person. And I don't think that's intense to say given that one. She literally doesn't care that you might die as long as she has a new grandbaby and two. She's now gaslighting you for being upset that your mother doesn't care about you risking death. You should go LC_Sue_. My gut is not the asshole. There is no doubt in my mind your mom sucks here. Your reproductive system is your own and wanting kids is a very personal choice. I'm sure this isn't the first conversation she has had with you about the topic and you were provoked and said things that although true can be shocking. Is your mom aware of the medical condition? I think it's easy to say now in hindsight, but you could have said the same thing in a way that may not have damaged your relationship with your mom. Although, medical condition aside, you don't want kids and that should be enough of an answer for anyone. 0/5 assholes. You'll die if you get pregnant and give birth. If your mom didn't get that memo before, she sure as night court does now. Plus it's not her place whether you have kids or not.